Jairus, his daughter, was dying until Jesus arrived. The miracle of life. Before we begin the story, tell me where you're listening from and what time it is in your city. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel because we have new stories every day. Did you know Jesus healed 2 people in one day, both with the same number of years of suffering? Today, we dive into the intertwined stories of Jairus and the woman with the issue of blood. Their encounters with Jesus reveal a profound truth about faith and compassion. In this episode, we'll explore how Jesus' actions not only healed their bodies, but also restored their hope and dignity. We'll witness the power of faith, the compassion of Christ, and the transformative impact of his touch. So, grab your Bible, open to Mark 5, and let's embark on this journey together. Oh, the desperation of a father. Jairus, a synagogue ruler, falls at Jesus' feet. His daughter, his little girl, is at the point of death. He's heard the whispers, the miracles. He's seen the crowds, the hope in their eyes. But this is his daughter. This is his world crumbling. He begs, "Please, come and lay your hands on her, so that she may be healed and live." The stakes are high. The urgency is real. What happens when a desperate father seeks the help of Jesus? Will faith be enough? Will Jesus' compassion reach her in time? The clock is ticking, and the journey to their house begins. Time is not on their side. The sun dips lower, casting long shadows that seem to stretch the distance between them and the little girl. Each step is a race against the relentless march of time. The crowd parts, a sea of faces etched with concern, as Jesus and Jairus hurry through the streets. The synagogue ruler's heart pounds in his chest, a drumbeat of desperation. He clings to the hope that Jesus can turn the tide, that his daughter's life can be spared. But the whispers of doubt linger, like ghosts in the corners of his mind. Can Jesus truly defy death? Will they reach her in time? The weight of his daughter's life rests on this journey, and every moment feels like an eternity. We find Jairus, a synagogue ruler, frantic. His daughter is at death's door. He's heard whispers of Jesus' power, his ability to heal. Jairus is desperate. He knows time is running out. So, he approaches Jesus, not with pride, but with humility. He falls at Jesus' feet. He begs. "My little daughter is dying," he pleads. "Please, come and put your hands on her, so that she will be healed and live." Jairus' faith is raw, urgent. He believes Jesus can save his daughter. But how will Jesus respond? Will he be moved by Jairus' desperation? Or will he dismiss this powerful man's plea? Jesus looks at Jairus, his eyes filled with compassion. He sees the desperation, the raw, urgent faith. He doesn't dismiss the synagogue ruler's plea. Instead, he responds with a simple, powerful word. "Come." It's an invitation, a promise. Jesus is saying, "I will go with you. I will help." And so, they set off, Jesus and Jairus, along with the crowd that is gathered, all moving towards Jairus' home. But the journey is interrupted. A woman, hidden in the crowd, reaches out to touch Jesus' cloak. She believes that even a touch of his garment will heal her, and it does. Jesus feels the power go out from him, and he stops. He asks, "Who touched my clothes?" The disciples are puzzled. The crowd is pressing in on him, they say. But Jesus knows. He has felt the power leave him. The woman, trembling, comes forward. She falls at Jesus' feet, confessing her faith, her healing. Jesus looks at her, his eyes filled with kindness. "Daughter," he says, "your faith has healed you. Go in peace." But as they stand there, a messenger arrives from Jairus' house. He brings grim news. "Your daughter is dead," he says. "Don't bother the teacher anymore." Jairus' heart sinks. His desperation turns to despair. But Jesus, hearing the news, turns to Jairus. "Don't be afraid," he says. Just believe." And so they continue on their way. Jesus, Jairus, and a few of his disciples. When they arrive at Jairus' house, they find the mourners, the wailers, the professional mourners who have been hired to lament the girl's death. Jesus tells them to leave. They laugh at him. "She's dead," they say. "Why bother the teacher anymore?" But Jesus, undeterred, takes Jairus and his wife, along with Peter, James, and John, into the room where the girl lies. He takes her by the hand and says, "Little girl, I say to you, get up." And she does. She gets up, walking around, as if nothing had happened. The family is astonished. The mourners are silenced. And Jairus, the synagogue ruler, the man who had come to Jesus in desperation, now stands in awe. His faith has been rewarded. His daughter is alive. And Jesus, the healer, the Savior, has shown his power once again. Suddenly, a commotion breaks out. A woman pushes through the crowd, her eyes locked onto Jesus. She's been bleeding for years. No doctor could help. She believes, truly believes, that touching Jesus' garment will heal her. She reaches out just a touch. That's all she needs. And it happens. Instantly, her bleeding stops. She feels it, the power, the healing. She knows she's been made well. But Jesus, he feels something too. Power has gone out from him. He turns, looks at her. "Who touched my clothes?" he asks. The disciples laugh. "You see the people crowding against you," they say, "and yet you can ask, 'Who touched me?'" But Jesus, he knows. He knows who touched him. He knows the faith that touched him. And he wants her to know it too. He wants her to step forward, to confess her faith, to claim her healing. So he waits. He waits for her to come to him, to tell her story, to receive his blessing. And she does. She comes, trembling, falls at his feet. She tells him everything. And Jesus, he looks at her, not with anger, but with love. "Daughter," he says, "your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering." And she does. She goes healed, whole, free. But the crowd, they're stunned. They've seen miracles before, but this is different. This is a woman with a condition that made her unclean, untouchable. And yet, Jesus, he touched her. He healed her. He called her daughter. And in that moment, they see it. They see the power of faith, the compassion of Jesus. They see the truth behind the miracle. And they're changed. They're changed forever. As the woman with the issue of blood steps back into the crowd, she is no longer the outcast she once was. Her face, once marked by years of suffering, now bears a radiant smile. The crowd parts for her, not out of fear or disgust, but out of respect and awe. They have witnessed a miracle, a testament to the power of faith and the boundless compassion of Jesus. The air is filled with a sense of wonder and disbelief. The Pharisees, who had been watching with critical eyes, are left speechless. They had seen Jesus perform many miracles, but this one touches their hearts in a way they never expected. They see a woman once shunned by society, now embraced by the very hands that had healed her. The crowd begins to murmur, their voices filled with a mix of amazement and reverence. They whisper to one another, their eyes wide with wonder. "Did you see that? She was healed, just like that." He called her daughter. The words echo through the crowd, a testament to the miracle they have just witnessed. Jesus, meanwhile, turns his attention back to Jairus. The man's face is a picture of hope and gratitude. He knows that if Jesus could heal the woman in the crowd, he could surely heal his daughter. The faith that had been wavering in his heart is now renewed, stronger than ever. He looks at Jesus, his eyes filled with tears of gratitude and hope. The crowd, sensing the gravity of the moment, falls silent. They watch as Jesus and Jairus walk away. the crowd parting for them as they make their way to Jairus' house. The air is filled with a sense of anticipation, a sense that something extraordinary is about to happen. And as they walk, the crowd follows, their hearts filled with hope and faith, ready to witness another miracle. Jesus stops. He turns to the crowd, his eyes scanning the faces. He knows something has happened. A woman steps forward, her face pale, her eyes filled with fear and hope. She falls to her knees, her voice trembling as she speaks. "Lord, if I may touch but your garment, I shall be whole." Jesus looks at her, his eyes filled with compassion. He knows her story, her pain, her desperation. He knows she has been suffering for 12 long years, her body ravaged by illness, her spirit broken by despair. He knows she has spent all her living on physicians, seeking a cure, but finding none. He knows she has been an outcast, shunned by society, her illness making her unclean. He knows she has come to him as a last resort, her faith a tiny spark in the darkness of her despair. And he knows that her faith has made her whole. He looks at her, his eyes filled with love and compassion. "Daughter, be of good comfort," he says, his voice gentle, his words filled with power. "Your faith has made you whole." And in that moment, the woman is healed. The crowd watches in awe, their hearts filled with wonder and amazement. They have seen miracles before, but this is different. This is not just a healing, it is a testament to the power of faith, a demonstration of Jesus' compassion. And as they watch, they cannot help but wonder, what other miracles will they see today? What other lives will be changed by the power of faith and the compassion of Jesus? As the woman rises, her body no longer burdened by her affliction, she falls at Jesus' feet, tears streaming down her face. She looks up at him, her eyes filled with gratitude and awe. "Thank you," she whispers, her voice barely audible. Jesus smiles at her, his eyes reflecting the love and compassion that have defined his ministry. "Go in peace," he says, his voice filled with warmth. "Your faith has not only healed you, but has also given you a new life." The crowd watches in silence, their hearts touched by the profound moment they have just witnessed. They know that they have been in the presence of something extraordinary, something that transcends the ordinary miracles they have seen before. They know that they have witnessed the power of faith and the compassion of Jesus, and they know that their lives will never be the same. As the woman walks away, her steps light and free, the crowd begins to disperse, their hearts filled with a newfound sense of hope and wonder. They know that they have seen something special, something that will stay with them for the rest of their lives. And as they go about their day, they cannot help but share the story of the woman who was healed by the power of faith and the compassion of Jesus. The news spreads like wildfire, and soon, people from all over the region are flocking to see Jesus, hoping to witness the miracles that have become his trademark. And as the crowds grow, so does the faith of the people, and so does the compassion of Jesus. For he knows that it is not just the miracles that matter, but the faith and the compassion that make them possible. And as he continues his ministry, he knows that he is not just healing bodies, but also healing hearts. And that is the greatest miracle of all. The crowd parts, and a servant from Jairus' house pushes through. His face is pale, his eyes filled with despair. He falls at Jesus' feet, gasping for breath. "Your daughter is dead," he says, his voice barely a whisper. "Do not trouble the teacher anymore." The news is like a dagger to Jairus' heart. He falls to his knees, his head in his hands, his world crumbling around him. But Jesus, he does not falter. He turns to Jairus, his eyes filled with compassion. "Do not be afraid," he says, his voice steady and sure. only believe. Jesus gently helps Jairus to his feet, his grip firm and reassuring. The crowd watches in silence, a hush falling over them like a heavy blanket. Jesus turns to his disciples, his voice calm yet commanding. "You have seen me heal the sick, give sight to the blind, even raise the dead. Today, we will do something extraordinary. We will bring life where there is death." He begins to walk towards Jairus' house, the crowd parting like the Red Sea before Moses. The air is thick with tension, a mix of hope and disbelief. Peter, always the first to speak, whispers to John, "Do you think he can really do it? Raise the dead?" John shrugs, his eyes never leaving Jesus' back. "I've seen him do things I never thought possible. If anyone can, it's him." As they approach the house, the wailing of the mourners grows louder. Jesus stops, his face a mask of determination. "Do not weep," he says, his voice echoing through the street. "The child is not dead, but sleeping." The mourners look at him, their eyes wide with shock and disbelief. But Jesus does not falter. He walks into the house, his disciples following closely behind. The room is filled with people, their faces streaked with tears. Jesus goes to the girl, takes her by the hand, and says, "Talitha cum," which means, "Little girl, I say to you, arise." And to the astonishment of all, the girl sits up, her eyes opening wide. Life has returned to her, and the room erupts in joy and disbelief. Jesus looks at Jairus, a smile playing on his lips. "Your daughter is alive," he says, his voice filled with love and compassion. Jairus falls to his knees, his face wet with tears of joy. "Thank you," he whispers, his voice filled with gratitude. The crowd watches in awe, their hearts filled with wonder and faith. They have witnessed a miracle, a testament to the power of Jesus. And as they leave the house, they carry with them a newfound belief, a hope that even in the darkest of times, there is always light. We follow Jesus as he makes his way to Jairus' house. The crowd parts like the Red Sea, their eyes wide with anticipation. They have heard the whispers, the rumors of a miracle. Jesus' declaration echoes in their minds, "Your daughter is alive." They want to see it with their own eyes, to touch the hem of his garment, to be a part of this extraordinary moment. But Jesus, he walks with a purpose, his gaze fixed on the house ahead. He does not rush, does not falter. He is a man on a mission of mercy. The crowd they follow, their hearts pounding with a mix of excitement and fear. They know what they are about to witness is something out of the ordinary, something divine. But how will Jesus handle the crowd? The mourners, they are already gathered at the house, their wails filling the air. Will he push them aside, demand their silence? Or will he show them the same compassion he showed Jairus? The tension builds. The anticipation grows. We hold our breath, waiting, watching. What will Jesus do when he reaches the house? How will he handle the crowd and the mourners? The answer is just a few steps away. As Jesus and his followers approach the house, the crowd parts like the Red Sea, a hushed silence falling over the mourners. Jesus' eyes, pools of deep compassion, scan the faces of those gathered. He does not push them aside or demand silence. Instead, he steps into the midst of the crowd, his presence commanding respect and awe. The wails of the mourners soften, their tears still flowing, but their voices hushed, as if in reverence to the man who has just arrived. Jesus turns to Jairus, his gaze steady and reassuring. "Do not fear, only believe," he says, his voice firm yet gentle. Jairus nods, his faith renewed, his hope rekindled. Jesus then turns to the mourners, his voice rising above the hushed whispers. "Why do you make a commotion and weep? The child is not dead, but sleeping, he declares. The mourners exchange puzzled glances, their tears drying, their wails replaced by a curious silence. Jesus, with a few of his disciples, enters the house, leaving the crowd outside. The tension is palpable, the anticipation almost unbearable. What will Jesus do next? Will he truly wake the child from her sleep? The answer is about to be revealed. Jesus enters the room, the air thick with sorrow. He sees the girl, her small form still, her breath silent. He takes her hand, his touch gentle yet firm. He looks up at the mourners, his eyes filled with compassion. "Talitha cum," he commands, his voice echoing through the room. "Little girl, I say to you, arise." The room holds its breath. The girl stirs, her eyes fluttering open. She sits up, her gaze meeting Jesus. A gasp ripples through the room. The girl is alive. The impossible has happened. Jesus has brought her back from the brink of death. The mourners stare in disbelief, their hearts pounding with a mix of awe and joy. The girl, now fully awake, looks around, her eyes wide with wonder. She is alive, her life a gift from Jesus. The room erupts in cheers, the mourners' sorrow replaced by jubilation. They had witnessed a miracle, a testament to the power of faith and the compassion of Jesus. But what does this mean for them? What does this miracle reveal about the nature of Jesus and the power of faith? The answers lie in the profound truth behind this miracle, a truth that will change their lives forever. The room, once filled with the somber whispers of mourning, now resonates with the joyous chatter of celebration. The girl, her cheeks flushed with life, reaches out to her mother, who embraces her tightly, tears of gratitude streaming down her face. Jairus, his eyes reflecting a mix of relief and astonishment, approaches Jesus, his voice trembling as he utters, "Thank you, Rabbi." Jesus smiles warmly, placing a reassuring hand on Jairus' shoulder. "Your faith has made her well," he says, his voice filled with compassion and authority. The crowd, still in awe, begins to disperse, their hearts filled with a newfound hope and belief. They had witnessed something extraordinary, something that defied the natural order of things. A man had brought a girl back from the dead, with just a touch and a word. This was no ordinary man. This was Jesus, the Messiah, the Son of God. The news of this miracle spreads like wildfire, reaching every corner of the town. People begin to flock to Jesus, their faith renewed, their hearts filled with hope. They bring their sick, their lame, their blind, believing that he can heal them all. And Jesus, with his infinite compassion and love, does not disappoint. He heals them one by one, his touch bringing life and hope to each of them. The miracle of Jairus' daughter is not just a testament to Jesus' power, but also a symbol of his love and compassion for humanity. It reveals that he is not just a man, but a divine being, sent to save humanity from sin and death. It shows that faith in him can move mountains, can bring life from death, can bring hope in the darkest of times. This miracle changes the lives of those who witness it, filling them with a newfound faith and belief. They begin to see Jesus not just as a teacher or a healer, but as the Messiah, the Savior of the world. They begin to understand the profound truth behind his words and actions, a truth that will guide them through their lives. The resurrection of Jairus' daughter is not just a miracle, it is a revelation, a testament to the power of faith and the love of Jesus. It is a reminder that no matter how dark the night, the dawn of hope is always near, always within reach. And with Jesus, all things are possible. The power of Jesus' words, Talitha Cumi, echoes through the room, a command that defies death itself. This Aramaic phrase meaning, "Little girl, I say to you, arise," holds a significance that transcends time and culture. It is a declaration of life over death, hope over despair. But what is the true significance of these words? Why does Jesus choose to speak them in Aramaic, the language of the common people? And what does this miracle reveal about the nature of faith and the compassion of Jesus? As we delve deeper into this extraordinary event, we will uncover the hidden truth behind the miracle of Jairus' daughter, a truth that will challenge our understanding of faith and the power of Jesus' love. In this moment, Jesus doesn't just perform a miracle, he offers a profound lesson. He speaks in Aramaic, not to show off his linguistic prowess, but to connect with the people on a personal level. He wants them to understand that his power is not reserved for the elite or the educated, but is accessible to all, regardless of their station in life. This miracle is not just about raising a girl from the dead. It's about raising the hopes of a community, about igniting faith in the hearts of those who have lost all hope. It's a testament to Jesus' compassion, his understanding of human suffering, and his unwavering commitment to bring life and hope to those who need it most. As we continue to explore this story, let's keep this in mind. The true miracle is not just in the physical resurrection, but in the spiritual awakening that follows. And so, Jesus takes the girl's hand, and with a gentle touch, he whispers, "Talitha, Cumi," which means, "Little girl, I say to you, get up." And in that moment, the impossible happens. The girl, who was lifeless just moments ago, opens her eyes. She sits up, and a smile spreads across her face. The room is filled with a sense of awe and wonder. The parents are overjoyed, their tears of sorrow replaced with tears of joy. But Jesus, in his wisdom, asks them to keep this miracle a secret. He doesn't want the focus to be on the spectacle, but on the faith that made it possible. This is not just about the resurrection of a girl, it's about the resurrection of faith in a community. It's about the power of belief and the compassion of a man who understands the depths of human suffering. As we reach the climax of this story, we are left with a profound question. What does this miracle mean for us today? How can we apply this lesson of faith and compassion in our own lives? The story of Jairus' daughter is not just a tale of the past, it's a beacon of hope for the present and a guide for the future. As the crowd parts, we see Jairus, his face etched with a mix of grief and hope, standing at the door of his home. The air is thick with anticipation, the weight of his daughter's life hanging in the balance. Jesus, with a calm and steady gaze, approaches him. "Do not fear, only believe," he says, his voice a soothing balm in the storm of Jairus' despair. With a nod of trust, Jairus steps aside, allowing Jesus to enter his home. The room is filled with mourners, their wails echoing the pain of loss. But Jesus, undeterred, takes the girl's hand. "Talitha, Cumi," he whispers, his voice filled with authority and compassion. "Little girl, I say to you, arise." And in that moment, the impossible happens. The girl, who was once lifeless, now stirs, her eyes fluttering open. The room falls silent, the mourner's wails replaced by gasps of disbelief and joy. The climax of this story is not just the resurrection of a girl, but the resurrection of hope, of faith, of love. It is a testament to the power of belief and the compassion of a man who understands the depths of human suffering. As we witness this miracle, we are left with a profound question. What does this mean for us today? How can we apply this lesson of faith and compassion in our own lives? The story of Jairus' daughter is not just a tale of the past, it's a beacon of hope for the present and a guide for the future. It reminds us that even in our darkest hours, there is always hope, that even when all seems lost, faith can move mountains, and that even in the face of death, love and compassion can bring life. This is the power of the story of Jairus' daughter. This is the power of faith. This is the power of love. And this is the power of the human spirit. We stand at the crossroads of faith and compassion, where the story of Jairus' daughter intersects with our own lives. What can we learn from this ancient tale? How does it speak to us today? Let's explore. Faith, we see, is not a passive belief, but an active force. It's the hand that reaches out, the voice that cries out, the heart that refuses to give up. It's Jairus falling at Jesus' feet. It's the woman with the issue of blood touching the hem of his garment. It's us, in our own struggles, turning to the divine with unwavering hope. Compassion, too, is a powerful force. It's Jesus stopping in the crowd. It's him taking the time to heal the woman who touched him. It's him, in the face of death, choosing to bring life. It's us, in our own lives, choosing to love, to care, to make a difference. The story of Jairus' daughter is a mirror, reflecting our own capacity for faith and compassion. It's a challenge, urging us to believe, to hope, to love. It's a promise, whispering that even in our darkest hours, there is always hope, that even when all seems lost, faith can move mountains, and that even in the face of death, love and compassion can bring life. This is the power of the story of Jairus' daughter. This is the power of faith. This is the power of love. And this is the power of the human spirit. It's a reminder that miracles aren't always grand spectacles, but often quiet, personal moments of grace. They're found in the laughter of a child, the warmth of a hug, the strength to face another day. The story of Jairus' daughter teaches us that faith isn't about having all the answers, but about trusting in something greater than ourselves. It's about believing in the power of love, even when it seems impossible. It's about finding hope in the darkest of times, and about the incredible strength of the human spirit. So, let this story inspire you to live with faith, to love deeply, and to never give up hope. For in the end, it's not about the miracles we witness, but the ones we become. Let's take this inspiration and turn it into action. Start by reflecting on your own life. Where do you need to trust more? What challenges are you facing that require faith? Remember, faith isn't about having all the answers. It's about trusting in something greater. So, take a moment, breathe, and ask yourself, what can I do today to live with more faith? How can I show love and compassion to those around me? And most importantly, how can I be a miracle in someone else's life? Let's make a commitment to live with faith, to love deeply, and to never give up hope. Because in the end, it's not about the miracles we witness, but the ones we become. So, go out there and be the change you want to see. Be the miracle. Share this message with someone who needs a little faith boost. Like, comment, and subscribe for more inspiring content. Together, let's spread hope and love, one miracle at a time.